The worry continues in New Rochelle, New York, after a series of stabbings, including one fatal attack. All of the victims, they've been high school students. Now, parents and students, they have been packing into school board meetings demanding answers and also security improvements. In one of the cases, police have reportedly identified a suspect, but he's apparently out of state and has not responded as yet to even requests from police. Earlier today, I sat down with Westchester County District Attorney Anthony Scarpino. We got his take.
I'm sure they're aggressively looking for this individual, following the leads that they have where that person may be. Also trying to encourage that person to turn themselves in, because when an arrest is made out on the street, it can be things can get out of hand. Someone could be hurt. It's a lot easier if someone turns themselves in. It's in a more controlled atmosphere. So I encourage the individuals that they're looking for to turn themselves in and not require the police to go out and locate them.
And I also spoke with the district attorney about bail reform, a major issue that he's involved with. He's among several high-profile DAs in New York State looking to make the bail system more fair, especially for lower-income suspects. It's an issue that Governor Andrew Cuomo has also picked up on. So Scarpino announced his office would no longer seek bail in most misdemeanor cases, most but not all. Bail, it will still be sought in cases involving victims like abuse, sex crimes, assaults, and others, or if the defendant injured a police officer or first responder. If the defendant has a prior felony conviction, a prior sex crime conviction, or has a pending felony case against him or her, the old bail rules would still apply. So I asked the Westchester DA about his decision and why he came to it.
It's always important to continually review policies that exist, but if you're taking a look at cases in general, and if you're not going to be seeking a jail time for an individual who's charged with a petty larceny, for instance, with no prior criminal history, you wouldn't be seeking jail time. By setting bail, you may actually keep that person in jail for months while they're waiting for the case to be resolved. And if you're not going to be seeking jail time, to me, it's just improper to hold them in jail unless you feel there's some sort of flight risk or something of that nature. So, a lot of this came out of New York City and what goes on in Rikers, and you saw the district attorneys in New York City jump on that. And of course, it's part of Governor Cuomo's initiative, criminal justice initiative. Westchester, we don't quite have that same situation. Our jail is at its lowest capacity in many years. We had very few, from what we could tell, although it was hard to get the statistics, of people with nonviolent misdemeanors that were being held. But still, the process I felt had to change. We should start, traditionally it's been bail is going to be the norm. Now prove to us that we should release this person to the community in another fashion. Now the process is starting with bail is ROR is the norm. Now the burden's on the district attorney to come up with reasons in their mind as to why they should request it, based upon other warrants that are out, prior felony convictions, all the types of factors that would change our position as to whether that person we would ultimately be seeking even on a misdemeanor jail time.
You mentioned part of this is we saw what happened in Rikers, but also there's a story up in Niagara that's amazing, where a judge just released somebody. They've been sitting for 7 years almost, waiting to have his day in court. And this was a pot case here. I think it was a grower of it or whatever. But do we have that problem even in Westchester, where the court system is really tied up and it's really hard to get somebody in front of a judge?
I don't think so. I don't think we have that problem here in Westchester. And the other advantage that mention it, the costs that are involved in keeping someone in jail is anywhere from, on a yearly basis, $75,000 to $125,000 a year. Above and beyond that, the delays in the court, if you are going to be fighting over whether there should be $250 bail, you're going to be having an application by the defense and prosecution opposing it.
Yep.
That time is going on, and we're losing time there. In addition, you have to transport those individuals on a daily basis to and from the court. There are, besides the expenses involved, it's the delays in the system, getting them in, getting them up, controlling their safety. this is, to me, pretty much a no-brainer, and I'm glad we had a chance to look at it as early as we did, and I think that the progressive district attorneys are recognizing it. It's not for everybody.
Well, that was my question. It makes sense to me, but did you get, I know the DAs are part of a fraternity here or a club in New York. Did some guys pick up the phone and say, Frank, what are you doing here? This is crazy.
I think that there are some other counties. I think the District Attorneys Association is willing to take a look at it, and I think they recognize it. There are some who I've read one DA felt it was misguided, but you know, every community is different. There are district attorneys that have communities that only have 5,000 people in the entire county.
Right.
Okay. You know, I'm from Mount Vernon, 4 square miles, almost 80,000 people. Right. You know, so you can't compare their problems and their issues with what we have. We have Yonkers, we have major cities. We had with a lot of malls and, you know, petty larcenies. So, you know, this is the best for it. You know, I'm waiting for someone to say Scarpino's soft on crime or something of that nature. And I chuckle because, you know, they probably could have named a wing up at the county jail after me, I mean, when I was in the special narcotics part. But I recognize that there are community-based supervision for these people, these young people, many of them, makes sense. And especially since there's no reason for them to flee if you're not going to be seeking jail time based upon the nature of their offense. But if you look at the exceptions, you know, the exceptions, I won't say gobble up the rule, but they are an important factor that we look at in determining whether bail is appropriate or not.
And coming up next, as we commemorate the 45th anniversary of the Roe v. Wade decision, abortion rights, they are under attack in many parts of this country. It could get even worse if President Trump gets his way. We'll explain more on that after this quick commercial break.